Hello, my friend, and welcome to Something for Everybody. My name is Aaron Machbitz, and today is a solo episode of the podcast where I'm discussing 5 laws of success. And before we jump into those 5 laws, let's first define success, or how we see success. At least in my eyes, success is defined as giving our best effort. Because only we know internally, truly, if we gave our best effort. If we showed up that day and we gave our best effort, that is technically a success. That doesn't mean everything is going to go our way. That doesn't mean we're going to win everything, win every game, get every sale, or whatever it is, whatever domain we live inside. Success doesn't mean that it's always going to go our way. So by defining it with those terms of I'm giving my best effort, then we can always truly know if it was a success. And so, there's going to be some reflection questions that you want to ask yourself post-event or presentation or whatever you did. A well, better, how sort of question. What did I do well? What do I need to improve upon? And how can I do it? Those are more technical questions to get inside of your process of how maybe you can get the outcome that you wanted. But technically, if we showed up and we gave our absolute best effort, that's a success. That's a success, because happiness in life is more about the becoming than the being, right? It's about the journey. It's about the process. It's about climbing the mountain, not reaching the top of the mountain. And so if we don't have a version of success that allows us to celebrate these wins every single day, and also if we don't have a version of success that is totally under our control, we're only just waiting on all of these external circumstances to decide if we are a success. We can make the choice right now to make the decision that success means giving our best effort. So only I know internally if on this podcast, on the job, on the baseball field, with my clients speaking, that I gave my best effort. Did I give my best effort? Because that's an honest question you have to ask yourself. If you want a better life, you have to ask yourself better questions. And to answer those questions, you have to do it honestly. You have to answer those questions that you ask yourself honestly so you can actually progress forward into what you want. And so having this version of success, of giving my best effort, knowing that I can ask myself honestly, when I showed up today, did I give my best effort? Did I give my best effort? Yes, I did. That's a success. Okay, what went well? What didn't go well? Okay, what are the action steps I can take to improve? Then we know we can celebrate along the way, and we have control over this thing. I have control over my effort. I have control over my effort and my attitude, knowing that if I give that fully, 100% all in, committed, boom, 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 it was a success. That does not mean, again, the outcome is always going to go our way. That's impossible. That's impossible. But there's always solace and beauty in the fact that I can lay my head down at night saying, I fucking went for it today. That was awesome. It didn't go my way, but I went for it. Okay, there's some things that I can tweak in my process. There's some things that I can tweak in my routine. There's some things that I can tweak in my pitch that might change the outcome, that might influence the outcome a little bit better. But I know that if I keep giving my best effort on a day-to-day basis, success will absolutely come. So that's sort of the foundational piece of these 5 laws of success. Now, if you don't like that definition of success, I encourage you to actually do some reflection and find one that works for you. So you have a marker, so you have something to ask yourself questions about, so you have something to reflect about, so you can continue to get better moving forward. Because another cornerstone of my teaching is being the best at getting better. And the only way we can be the best at getting better, which is fully in our control, is again, we have to ask ourselves important questions. And those important questions need honest responses. So to move forward into becoming that best version of you, it's great to have a definition of success that you understand fully and you can reflect upon. So let's get into these 5 laws of success. Number 1, the law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. To be successful, focus on creating value for others, which in turn creates success for yourself. Now, this value is not talking about your inherent value as a human being. That can never be taken away. You are born with an inherent, immense value as a human being, and you have to do nothing to earn that inherent value that you have as a human being. It just is. It just is. That's just totally different than this law of value, which is about your true worth in terms of the eyes of other people is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. You're going to learn about success as you grow in life, that it's much more about service and giving to others rather than always being about us. Now, inherently, I think it's selfish, and we're all a little bit selfish because giving makes us feel good, and we give to make ourselves feel good. So inherently, there's a little bit of selfishness that goes with that, but that's okay. But understanding this law of value is that to be successful, you want to really focus on creating value for others, which in turn creates success for yourself. Now, what is that success? The success here potentially could be an outcome, right? But we've defined umbrella term for success is giving our best effort. So if we're focusing on giving others our best effort, if we're focusing on giving others our best effort, we're probably going to get some great abundance and prosperity in return. But our focus is on the law of value, is on giving. And you're going to see through even the rest of these 4 laws of success that it's very similar to this law of value, and it all circles around this idea of giving, of being in service to others is really how you get to a point where you're quote unquote successful, or consistently giving your best effort to others and receiving everything that you could ever want in this life. Drink break. Drink your water. And number 2, the law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. Being authentic and true to yourself builds trust and respect, which are crucial for long-term success. There is no better gift you can offer this world than to show up truly, authentically as yourself. Because you will always be the second best someone else, but you are the best you. You are the absolute best you. That's the law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself, because you are the best you and the second best someone else. The world needs you, not a shape-shifting, molded, crafted version of something that you think the world wants of you. They need you. They need your faults, your insecurities, your mistakes, your successes, everything that's wrapped up, your experiences, everything that's wrapped up to create this authentic, beautiful version of you. We talked about value in the first one. I said inherent value. You have inherent value as a human being from the second you were born because of your authenticity, because of your makeup, because you are the only you that's ever existed on this planet, and that is unbelievable. That's the law of authenticity. Being authentic and true to yourself builds trust and respect, which are again crucial for talking about success, which we are, which builds long-term success. But really, being authentic and being able to show up authentically and genuinely is the most freeing feeling in the world. Because when we walk into a room, we know who we are. We know what we represent. We don't have to shapeshift or mold or craft ourselves to fit into a certain narrative of other people. We just bring our best selves, because that's success, giving our best effort. And law of authenticity lines up with that, because to be authentic is to give our best, because our best is us, is me, is genuine. That's the most valuable gift I have. And to start thinking about your authenticity, you have to think about a few things. You have to know who you are. Who you are means your first principles. What are your first principles or your core values? I would come up with somewhere between 5 to 6 core values that you want to represent as a human being. And when people talk about you behind your back, they say, wow, Aaron's this kind, resilient, empathetic, caring, whatever. You have to embody and represent those values, because that's who you are, not what you do. What you do is totally different. Your identity, so your authenticity, your identity is your repeated beingness. So who are you being on a repeated basis? Who are you being is the values that you represent. Those are your first principles. Those are your core values. That's your authenticity. That's what you want people to talk about behind your back, that you show up in this way on a consistent basis because you are authentic to who you are. You've decided that this is who you are and this is how you want to show up. And that falls in line with your personal philosophy. You have to find a personal philosophy, a mission statement, and then that threads up into your purpose or your massive transformative purpose or your wildly important target. So it starts with identifying and living through action your core values or your first principles, leading to what your personal philosophy is, those stitched together, and you're trying to have that in the back of your mind as an indicator of how you're living your life. It's easier to do that when you have those things concretely in your mind. And then that leads to your ultimate purpose. And all of those things are driven by you and your authentic makeup that you've put on this earth that no one will ever have ever again. That's why the world needs you here. That's why you matter so freaking much, because there will never, ever, 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 ever be another you. And so we need everything that you have to offer. So might as well do the work to find out who you are and show up as that best authentic version of yourself on the most consistent basis towards success, which is giving your best effort. And so that's really important. We have there the law of authenticity. So number 1 was the law of value. Number 2 was the law of authenticity. And now we have number 3, the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Sound familiar? Successful individuals build strong relationships and networks by helping others achieve their goals or their targets. The law of influence. Read that last part again. Hear it, really hear that last part again. Successful individuals build strong relationships and networks by helping others achieve their goals. I'm going to reference my most favorite study that I've ever seen in my whole life, that I reference almost every single solo episode of this podcast. And this is episode 312 of this podcast. So that's a lot of references for this study. But if you want to live the good life, whatever that means, if you want to live the good life, it's about having great health and great relationships. Again, great relationships are the cornerstone of a great life. We just talked about authenticity. You show up authentically and genuinely, then there's no way that you don't build great relationships, because you're not showing up as a someone else version of this who you think that person might think that you are, that this is. You are showing up exactly who you are. And yeah, some people might not like that. Some people might not get along with that. We're not designed to be liked by everyone. Yes, we have respect for everyone because, like I said, everyone has immense inherent value. That doesn't mean I need to go to the movies with everyone or get a beer with everyone. That means I see their value. I respect them as a human being, but they're just not, for me. And that's okay. Not everyone needs to be for you. We're not designed to be liked by everyone. We're designed to be loved immensely, greatly by just a few people. 1, 2, 3, maybe. That's the great relationships. That's how you build strong relationships. You can't build amazing, deep, depth relationships with 700 people, but you can with 1, 2, or 3. And those great relationships will change the whole fabric of your life. They will change the whole fabric of your life. And so we have to put effort, success, giving our best effort into these relationships, or they will not be nurtured and will not cultivate into the relationships that can be life-altering and transformational, whether that be with a partner, kids, friends, doesn't matter. Effort, 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 effort. And so the law of influence, when we're thinking about success, is also about relationships. Dr. Michael Gervais talks about this all the time. He's a sports performance psychologist, and he works with a lot of businesses. Try and get their culture fixed so they can be the best business they can be. And he's relationship first. That's how we have to be. Relationship first. Because once you're relationship first, that's not transactional. It's relationship people first. We see the value in the person that we're talking to, and we're just trying to help them out. We're trying to be curious. We're trying to seek to understand. We're trying to help them achieve their goals or their version of success. Well, in turn, it helps us. The law of influence and the law of value go hand in hand. You're showing and giving immense value to others because you're trying to help them achieve their goals. And so all rising tides, whatever that saying is, float up to the ceiling or whatever it is, right? Some weird thing like that. But really the point is that the pie is big enough for everyone to eat. I don't have to cut you out to get my slice. I have to add you in. I have to bring you in. I have to give you a big slice so I can have a big slice and we all eat. That's the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Hormozy talks about this all the time when he talks about selling, right? And so it's all part of this thing of trying to be the most successful version of you, or the best version of you, because success means giving our best effort. And so if we're giving our best effort to the people around us, to our relationships, to our influence, to our value, then we're just raising everyone up together, like a great quarterback in a sports team, right? Or like a great CEO lifts everyone up. There's a genuine levity and brightness and ease and fun when that person comes in the room, knowing, yeah, we're about to get to work, we're about to do this thing, but I love being here because this person cares about me. Their relationship first in that regard, and that's important. So again, that was number 3. That's the law of influence. Let's go to number 4, which is the law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Sound familiar to the law of value? And the last one we had, which was the law of influence. The law of value, the law of influence lead into the law of compensation, which is your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. The more people you positively impact, the more success you will achieve. Abundance. Giving abundance gets abundance. Again, all of this is sort of inherently selfish, the 5 laws of success, because we're doing it in hopes that we get successful, but our energy is being given towards others because we're people first. We're trying to serve first. We're trying to give first, knowing that through all these laws of karma and reciprocity and all these sorts of things that we're going to get back everything that we give. But we're giving from a place of authenticity. We're giving from a place of love. We're giving from a place of, I want to help others, not simply doing it because I want everything to get in return. I want all this stuff in return. I need it. Now, those thoughts and feelings might come up because none of us are perfect and none of us are enlightened beings. We just have enlightened moments. But knowing that the more people I positively impact in a genuine way, the more success that I will achieve. Again, inherently selfish because that's sort of why we do all of these decisions. But if majority of the time I'm doing it because I really do enjoy helping others, I really do enjoy serving and giving to others, then I know the more that I will be positively impacted in my life. So that's the law of value and the law of influence sort of coming together to reach the law of compensation, right? The income determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Think of a restaurant. It's the most prime example. If that restaurant serves great food and serves its people and its customers, again, over and over and over and over and over on a consistent basis, then they're going to do really well. They're going to get a lot of great ratings. Those people are going to tell their friends. It's all these sorts of things that start to trickle in. Same with this podcast. If I have a couple great episodes, and this gets shared out to a bunch of people, they're going to come and try to check out these other episodes. And I got to keep that going. I got to keep that going by giving and giving and giving and being at my best every time I sit behind this microphone and talk to you guys about the things that are going on in my life or on my brain. And I just love it. I love it. There's no better thing than being able to do this. And all I want to do is be able to positively impact anyone that watches or listens. And so that's my intention. That's my intention. And it also secondarily helps me flush out some of these ideas that I'm thinking about that have made my life better. And how can I say them in a way that's made sense to me to make sense to you so you can also make your life better. And that's the more people that I can positively impact with this podcast, probably the more success it has, because the more people it reaches, the more numbers we have, the more downloads, the more views, whatever. But the only intention is try and positively impact people with the insights and information and nuggets of wisdom that I've learned along the way that have helped me try and live my best life that maybe I needed when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 to try and share that with anyone who cares to listen. And the people that do share the episodes, it's amazing. They saw the value in it, and I serve them well. And that's my intention with the law of compensation. So again, the law of value and the law of influence lead us into the law of compensation. And then the last one is the law of receptivity. The law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Embrace opportunities and be willing to receive help, feedback, and rewards. Success involves both giving and receiving. So success, again, is giving our best effort, and it involves both giving and receiving. The law of receptivity. The law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving, because you're giving because you want to serve others, you want to positively impact people, but you're open to receiving as well, to embracing opportunities, to creating your own luck. You're willing to receive help because you've created great relationships. You're willing to receive feedback, again, because you've created great relationships and people are willing to give you honest feedback so you can improve moving forward. And then over time, you reap those rewards, because success, ultimately becoming the best version of ourselves in greatest service to the world, which is what we're talking about, is both giving and receiving. And so those are going to be the 5 laws of success. Again, let's go over them. 1 was the law of value. 2 was the law of authenticity. 3 was the law of influence. 4 was the law of compensation. And 5 was the law of receptivity, all leading to the 5 laws of success. And we define success as giving our best effort. We're giving our best effort in hopes, in a journey, in a process, an endlessly evolving process to try and become the absolute best version of ourselves in greatest service to the world. That's the ultimate target, and that's what these 5 laws represent. So thank you very much for tuning in to that episode. Again, if you enjoyed it, the absolute best way to push and market this show is for you guys to share this episode with as many friends as humanly possible. That's the best marketing tool we have. But I absolutely love you. I absolutely love this podcast, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Thank you very much for tuning into that episode. And if you enjoyed it, click right here for another full-length episode of the podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, above all else, please take good care of yourselves and others. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers.